Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health Radio and TV. I'm your host, Sarah Banta. I'm a health coach, natural supplement expert, and a busy mom of 3 teenagers. I believe that your body does want to and is capable of rebuilding and healing itself regardless of what chronic disease you may have. And I'm here for you to answer your questions and bring you innovative, cutting-edge technology and health solutions to empower you and your ability to reach your optimal state of health. Today, my guest will be talking about nutrition and a supplement known as the master antioxidant. Whether it's overcoming anxiety and depression, losing weight, or detoxing your body in the proper way, you need a strong physical foundation of health in order to gain the willpower to make bigger changes in your life. If you're new to following me, I specialize in helping you get there. You can find my health articles, my cutting-edge natural supplements, devices, and protocols at acceleratedhealthproducts.com. I dive into an array of health conditions, their causes and symptoms, and how to address them naturally. And I have spent thousands of dollars and hours of my time biohacking different supplements, technologies, and diets that don't work, so you don't have to. If you have any health issues you need help with, you can email me directly through the website. I personally read every one. Accelerated Health Products is the sponsor of this show, so as you support my website, I'm able to bring you more cutting-edge content and guests to this show. Today, we're going to be diving in about a supplement that is anti-aging in nature. And I first want to talk about 4 more of my top tips for anti-aging. You can read about my top 10 tips to all of them for anti-aging at acceleratedhealthproducts.com. The first one is accelerated keto. This puts your body into fat burning mode and reduces inflammation throughout the body, which is anti-aging in nature. Inflammation is the quickest way to get old fast. It is carbohydrate free and low in calories, unlike most keto supplements. It provides that energy for muscles and brain. It encourages autophagy, which is the cleaning up of diseased cells, which is another proponent of anti-aging. It stimulates a metabolic shift away from glucose dependence and towards burning your own body fat for energy. And it provides a constant source of clean energy that lasts 8 to 12 hours. So you can actually intermittent fast as long as you want. It allows the cells to produce 10 times the amount of energy than from glucose. It prevents that brain fog we're all suffering from. It reduces the cravings for carbs and sugar, and it helps it to be easier to stick to a ketogenic low-fat diet. But the difference too is that accelerated keto also contains HMB, which converts into acetyl-CoA and ketones while preventing muscle wasting. Muscle wasting is something that happens with age as well. And it's common during heavy weight loss programs to also lose additional muscle while burning fat. It doesn't happen when you're taking accelerated keto. The second one is something called MyVital-C. It's the component ESS60, not vitamin C, and it has been proven to be highly effective at addressing one of the most stubborn viruses humanity has ever encountered, that being HIV. For a long time, there was no cure for HIV, but now MyVital-C is observed to have virus-killing properties, and it has been patented as a treatment for HIV. While it's a step of inference to say that it could be used to treat other illnesses like what we're facing right now as a community, we do know that the regular use of MyVital-C can improve your immune system. It's 172 times more powerful than vitamin C, and it's known as an antibiotic, and it also improves sleep, which is essential for a strong immune system and anti-aging. Not to mention, it doubles lifespan. So in addition to that, it lowers your risk of heart disease, improves your eyesight, your mental acuity, it lowers blood pressure, manages osteoarthritis, increases your strength and vitality, protects the nervous system. It improves hair growth and hair color, and it helps alleviate any back, knee, or hip pain. These are all factors that contribute to anti-aging. The third supplement is called acceleradine, and it's an iodine supplement. It is the wild card in supporting the immune system. It's antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, detoxifying, and produces energy. These are all anti-aging factors. So it also produces a unique function known as healthy apoptosis. Healthy apoptosis is the natural death of traumatized and unhealthy cells. And there's no pathogen resistant to iodine. Iodine was actually used to protect people in the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic that killed over 30 million people. All of these immune boosting and anti-aging benefits are in addition to iodine's key role for the metabolism in the thyroid. The thyroid produces T4. 4 stands for 4 iodine atoms, and without iodine, the thyroid is unable to produce that T4 that is necessary for the immune system. Not only that, but iodine is the most important spiritual supplement as it relieves depression and brain fog and helps you connect with your higher self. I talk a lot about increasing your frequency, meaning living at a higher level of awareness and spirituality. And the scalar frequency embedded in the acceleradine detoxes your pineal gland, which connects you to your higher self, clears the brain fog, and awakens you. Lastly, the accelerated scalar silver. Not only does this have an alkaline pH of 8.0, creating an environment that foreign pathogens cannot survive in, but it's programmed with bioinformational scalar technology to further strengthen the immune system and devitalize foreign pathogens. And like the acceleradine, the scalar frequencies embedded in the silver lift you to a higher state of being or a higher state of frequency. Furthermore, we use microclustered water technology to lower the surface tension for better absorption. No other silver company does this, and because of its ability to strengthen your immune system, it's inherently anti-aging. Now to the good stuff. Nayan Patel is globally regarded as the foremost go-to expert on absorbable forms of glutathione and holds the only patent on transdermal glutathione. He is an internationally renowned educator, consultant, lecturer, and leading expert on the master antioxidant. In addition to many other topics such as cellular function and hormone replacement, Nayan is a highly sought after global authority on the critical role in glutathione and all other antioxidants and endogenous molecules that play in the body. Welcome, Nayan. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Sarah.
I'm so excited to talk about this because there's so much misinformation out there about glutathione. And I know a lot of people take these pills and they say the price is pretty cheap. And so I really want to go through that. But I want to start out with what is glutathione and why is it different than most of the other antioxidants out there?
So glutathione is the only antioxidant that our human body produces on its own. We don't produce vitamin C or vitamin E. We don't produce any of the antioxidants except for glutathione. And glutathione one of the properties is an antioxidant because the way it behaves. But glutathione, in a nutshell, is a protein. It's a 3 amino acid chain protein that a body produces. And one of the function is to protect itself from the toxic reactive species that we are exposed to on a daily basis, mainly the sunlight. And that's how we detoxify those electronically charged molecules by glutathione. That's just one of the functions of glutathione. So if you ask me what is glutathione, that's a broad question. If you ask me specifically, okay, based on what functions it does, it has different roles in the body. So one role is, of course, antioxidant. The second role, it's going to be a detoxifier because it also is heavily involved in metabolic excretion of molecules that a body consumes on a daily basis or exposes to daily basis through the liver. That's a second way of how glutathione helps a body clean up on a daily basis, and so on and so forth. So glutathione in a nutshell, if you think about it's just a protein. It's the simplest form of protein. It takes glycine, glutamine, and cysteine that you can eat on a diet on a regular basis and get those amino acids, and the body will produce glutathione on its own, given the ample supply of all these amino acids that you consume from a daily diet.
And how stable is that? I know that that's one of the big issues with glutathione. It's not very stable. So when you're taking it in through food, it's like your body's got to put all of these three particles together to create the glutathione, and it's got to be a perfect match. Is that correct?
Exactly right. So what it is highly unstable molecule outside the human body. Inside the human body is very stable, as long as it doesn't hit the stomach. If once it hits the stomach, the acids and the enzymes will break down any proteins you consume into various amino acids that your body will use up as the building blocks to build another proteins. Just because you consume glutathione, that doesn't necessarily mean the body's going to make the glutathione again.
From my experience, this is very interesting. I do a lot of detoxing, and I think we do need to do it daily because of the world we live in. And whenever I do a liver flush or a liver cleanse, I always get a rash over my liver because my body's dispelling some of the toxins. So when I started using the glutathione supplement that you provide, I was getting that same rash, which was my body's way of saying I'm detoxing, and it's definitely working because the toxins were trying to come out of my skin. And it's just amazing where do you see the glutathione market faltering because of some of this? I mean, a lot of pills that are taken. I know a lot of companies that are selling it a lot cheaper, obviously. But what are you getting, and what's happening when you're taking it in that form?
So in the glutathione market, as a pharmacist, I was making glutathione intravenous injections that most of your audience is probably getting it from some of the spas or the IV hydration rooms and doctor's offices. And we used to produce that for the last 20 years. And I stopped producing that as of last year because I do not see a need for that, since we have a better substance that's out there that can achieve, if not the same, but better results with the topical form of glutathione. So being said that, there are various forms available over the counters right now, i.e. there's capsule forms of just powder filled in there. There is this new technology, which is it's an old technology, but they have put a new branding on it. It's called the liposomal form of glutathione. Mm-hmm. And that has shown some promises in the early onsets back in the 80s and 90s. And all these molecules, unfortunately, have to go through your stomach. And everything that goes to your stomach sees this as a protein. It will basically break it down into various amino acids. Mm-hmm. And then depending on what your body's needs are, it will produce those molecules for you. Making a glutathione, it is not just the building blocks like amino acids, but it goes through two enzymatic process. So it requires two other enzymes to make glutathione. So it's a two-step process. And the sequence has to be exactly the same as well. And if it doesn't happen, then you don't get the glutathione. If it does happen, then you do get the molecule, and then your body can use it up immediately. What happens is that as we age, our need of glutathione doesn't decrease, but our body's ability to produce glutathione decreases slightly, and that will accelerate the gap between have and want. Your want starts increasing more than the haves, And when that happens, all of a sudden now you start seeing issues that are related to aging, so to speak, because aging is such a huge term, and we think aging is losing memory, aging is saggy skin, aging is losing hair, or aging is I don't look the same as I looked 5 years ago. And now this phone tells you what happened 3 years ago, 5 years ago in your life, and you see that, oh my God, 5 years ago I had hair on my head, and now all of a sudden I don't have hair anymore. So aging is a very loose term that has been used over the years, but it's between the gap of have and want. Mm. Your needs are much higher than what you have, and when that happens is when we start seeing onset of diseases, and so on and so forth. So our goal is to find out if I can narrow this gap down, and get the supplements that your body needs. How can we do that? How can we achieve that without compromising or without having the body work any harder than it already is? So our technology, unfortunately, I wish it was something that I worked really hard on it and I discovered, but like everything that happens in life, all great things have happened by mistake. Mm-hmm. And this glutathione was a mistake in my lab 11 years ago, and I did not realize what mistake I had made until about 2 years afterwards, when I saw that the glutathione was still stable in my lab, that I was about to trash it, because every so often I had to clean up my lab because I get piled up on a lot of different things that I work with. And I was about to trash, and then I smelled it. I said, oh my God, this smells awful. What is it? And that's when I realized that the glutathione has a sulfur odor, is still there. It was still stable. It was not oxidized. And then the OMG happened to me. I said, oh my gosh, what happened now? We do have something that is stable for the very first time. So that was discovered. And later on, the story goes on how we figure out how it goes through your skin, how does it bypasses your stomach, and all those things was done later on.
Yeah, so a couple of the questions that have just come in, and you touched on them a little bit, was can you tell us what brought you into this line of work? And then also, how is this taken if it can't go through the stomach? So why don't we touch on your background a little bit and about the Oro spray in specifically?
So my research started with me was working on vitamin C. Vitamin C was the master antioxidant. This is what it is. This is what we can take. Everybody in the world was bragging about vitamin C. So sure enough, I said, what can I do to improve the absorption of vitamin C? And of course, I was not using your technology. I was using the ascorbic acid that everybody else was using it. And I created a liposomal form of vitamin C in a stable form that can be pulverized or in a powder form that you can take it via capsules. And it will cost you about $1 a day. And at that time, you can buy vitamin C for $2 for a month's supply. I said, why would people pay me $1 every single day when they can get it for $2 for a whole month's supply? And so I abandoned the project because I was not too happy with the economics of the whole thing. And so the theory was, okay, if vitamin C is so expensive, maybe people might pay for glutathione. And of course, at my lab, all my PhD and my pharmacists are looking at me and said, you're crazy. I said, what are you trying to do over here? Nobody's ever done this before. Anyway, so that was the whole process on why did I chose glutathione over vitamin C, because vitamin C was not going to be cost effective at all. And the results I'm going to get was not as good as what I would get with glutathione. And then later on, when we discovered the glutathione, we identified the molecular size of glutathione, because back in the early 2000s, the biggest buzzword actually is even today is nanotechnology. And people talk about what is nanotechnology? That's the best thing that happened to the nutraceutical industry or the pharmaceutical industry. And nanotechnology is particle size of approximately 200 nanometers. And when I tell you that glutathione is roughly about 10 angstrom, which is about 1 nanometers, it blows people's mind off that, oh my gosh, this is literally a sub-nano technology. When you're talking about sub-nano technology, then you start realizing that, okay, and that small molecule, it is easily penetrable through your skin. And so the skin is the biggest barrier you have. It keeps everything out in the world where it's supposed to be without getting inside your body. So with this super small molecule, we were able to at least get through your skin a little bit, and then later I found out that it is actually getting in your skin, and it is getting levels that you're looking for to help getting some sort of therapeutic outcomes that your patients are looking for. So that is a history of the whole thing.
Wonderful. Well, do people ever take it? I've just thought of this question, sublingually in their mouth.
Oh yes, absolutely. Everything, again, even when I was making the intravenous form of glutathione without using the same technology, the glutathione molecule is huge. And even though you inject straight in your bloodstream, it is impossible to get into the intracellular levels, because to get into the intracellular levels, it has to be either produced there or has to be such a small molecule that can get through that. And if you don't have that, it was never going to get through that. So even if you take sublingual drops of glutathione, first of all, it tastes awful if you do take it. So good luck, and you're a trooper if you do that. It tastes awful, and it will never absorb through your saliva. Keep in mind, saliva has a lot of enzymes in your mouth. They will break down the glutathione to different amino acids to get it absorbed anyways. So sublingual, oral, capsules, all those forms will not get the levels that you're looking for, except for, of course, the intravenous form probably will get you the best levels.
The other thing that I've tested out was so at first when I started using it, I was spraying it over my liver for the detoxification effects. And then I started using it on my face. I wash my face, I spray a couple sprays on it, and I rub it in, let it dry, and then I continue on with my regimen for my skin. And at the age of 44, not only am I fighting wrinkles, but I'm still fighting that teenage acne that has followed me since my teen years. And my skin has not been more consistently clear since I started doing that. And I literally use one spray and just put it around my face. I also have been experimenting with spraying it in my scalp, which I think over the last couple months, and I do believe that it helps with hair growth. Can you explain why it would? And then the other question would be, even though I'm focused on my face and my hair, I am getting the detoxifications throughout the body as well. Is that correct?
Yes, and you're absolutely right. So no matter where you apply it, even though you may be getting localized effect, there is a little bit of systemic absorption that you're going to get. So you're going to get a full body detox as well. Now, keep in mind, you on a daily basis cover your whole body except for your face. Nobody covers a face up ever. And thanks to COVID, now we are wearing a face mask, so we at least the face, the mouth is covered, the nose is covered, but your face is never covered. Your face skin is exposed to the highest number of toxins that are out there, because you're always exposed to it. So now what happens is that your skin on your neck up is constantly bombarded with all these electrons and chemicals and pesticides and pollution that your body has to detoxify. And it's hard to keep on producing a lot of glutathione on your face. So when you apply straight on your face, you see the effects of nullifying the oxidative stress that is caused by all these chemicals and pollution that can cause pimples or wrinkles or age spots or blemishes, or there's so many different things that can happen. I cannot label glutathione as a product for wrinkles, because your wrinkles could be because of collagen production. And if that's the case, then you may need some other medications to go along with it. But if your wrinkles is because of oxidative stress, then you're going to see a dramatic difference immediately. And so I always look at one thing. I said, hey, if I don't know the answer, can I try it and nullify what's not there? So if I can find out that, hey, if my issues are not because of oxidative stress, then I know one less thing to worry about. It's not oxidative stress. But if it is, then guess what? You have a solution that's going to take care of it immediately. And within the first bottle, I'm sure you noticed that within the first bottle, you see the effects that you can see with your naked eyes. And most of the cosmetic companies, they use high-powered lenses and cameras to see your before and after pictures. And for me, I said, nope, I'm not going to use that. I just want to let your eyes speak for itself. And if you're 44 as you speak, you not look 44 right now, but your eyes is also getting older at the same time. So they don't see as well as a 20-year-old eyes would see. And if I can fool a 44-year-old eye, then by sure means a 20-year-old eye is going to see more drastic results as well. The scalp is something I'm not aware of it. If it's helped with the hair growth, I would have worked on me a long time ago. But it does not do that part for me per se. But I usually ask people to apply on the non-hairy part, because it's very sticky. So if you apply on your scalp, it does get sticky, and you can wash it off in about an hour or so, but sometimes it becomes uncomfortable. So I typically not tell my patients to apply on the hairy portions of the body at all.
That makes sense. Well, we're going to take...
You talk about the rash that you receive.
Yes.
That is the only thing that we have seen with the glutathione as a possible negative, that it doesn't happen to everybody, but if your body is very pure, and if it tries to pull even a little bit of toxins out of there, you may see some of this rash.
Well, it's not just from the glutathione spray, but I will get that, like I said, from my liver flush cleanse, and also from the acceleradine iodine, if I put it on topically, because that is detoxing my body extremely well as well. So it's just something that my body does as a sign of really detoxing at a very efficient rate. So I see it as a positive. But we need to take a real quick commercial break, and we will be right back with Nayan Patel. Welcome back. Today we're talking to Nayan Patel about glutathione and all the benefits. And Nayan, I want to talk about, because this week I'm really focused on anti-aging. And when I think of anti-aging down to the bare bones, I think about telomeres. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about how it is the only antioxidant that provokes telomere growth versus any other antioxidant. And maybe you can describe what that means and what telomeres are and how glutathione affects it.
Okay, so let me take back to telomeres first, and then I'll talk about the antioxidants next. telomeres, of course, when the Nobel Prize was awarded on figuring out what telomere lengthening is, or telomeres as the way of how long and how healthy we're going to age, was a breakthrough in trying to figure out how we're going to age as we progress forward, because it's still a mystery on how that's going to happen. So telomere is if you look at the DNA strand, it's a tip of your DNA strand that, as you age, starts shrinking down slowly. And if you can somehow lengthen it, you can age gracefully and have less issues, or you can even live longer. Now, the number one thing that reduces the telomeres lengthening is your exposure to toxicities and free radicals, and all those old theories that we have back in the 70s and 80s came back to fruition again, understanding that all those are the actual cause of reducing or decreasing the length of these telomeres. Now, why glutathione is the best and not vitamin C or vitamin E or carnosine or any of those CoQ10, any of those other molecules, is because glutathione is the only thing that is produced by our human body to help combat that thing. When we talk about vitamin C being the master the antioxidants that the masses uses, vitamin C, what it does, it at a low dose is an antioxidant, but at a high dose, it is a pro-oxidant. And of course, Mayo Clinic is doing some research to see how can we give high dose vitamin C for cancer therapies and all those things. But at the low dose, it's an antioxidant. In a nutshell, is what it's telling me is that at a low dose, it behaves like glutathione, but at a high dose, we need glutathione to reverse the effects of vitamin C. So let me tell you the myth now. The myth is vitamin C is an antioxidant. The truth is vitamin C is actually regenerating glutathione to become the antioxidant there is. Because glutathione, when it gets oxidized, some of the glutathione can form as a GSSG molecule, which is a stable form of glutathione that, given enough antioxidants like vitamin C, it can make into glutathione again. No other antioxidant has the properties that can do that part. Mm-hmm. So in a nutshell, that's what glutathione is. And so, of course, given enough concentration of glutathione in your body, you can literally increase your telomere numbers, lengthening of your telomeres as well. So again, there's so much things to discuss about glutathione, and telomeres is just one of these things. And over the last 2 years, as you know, Sarah, we have spent numerous amount of time to write a book on it, because I just got, I'm answering too many questions on different angles, and everybody has different questions of different things about diseases and age and antioxidants. So the Glutathione Revolution is the book. It took me 2 years to finish it. We just published it recently, and it just talks about everything about glutathione in there. So I hope your audience can get a book for themselves and get more detailed information as well.
Well, I highly recommend it. And I want to talk about, because when they first try out the spray, the GSH spray, there's that smell. So let's talk about the sulfur and the smell, because it's something that you get used to, but like right now I know, or I connect it with a healing process. So it's kind of like Pavlov's dog, where you connect it with something positive, therefore it becomes a smell you actually enjoy. But let's talk about the sulfur part of the glutathione.
True. By the way, I don't enjoy the smell every day, but I'm absolutely used to it by now. So the glutathione, the cysteine molecule of glutathione, one of the amino acid, has a sulfur group on top of it. That sulfur group is the most active component of glutathione. Mm. So if there is no smell, the glutathione has been oxidized or has been denatured. So when I created the complex of glutathione to stabilize glutathione, I formed a shell around glutathione to protect the sulfur group. So the smell is still there, but as soon as you apply on your skin, the smell literally goes away in a couple of minutes. It does. So it tells you two things. One is that more than likely the glutathione is inside your skin, so you can't smell them anymore. But if you do sweat, like I just did my exercise this morning, and I typically apply after my exercise. But since today I had my show with you, I did this before my exercise, and while I was exercising, the smell keeps on coming out because it keeps on coming out the pores again. So the smell is something that's the trademark of the glutathione, and if it's there, that means it is still functional. So embrace the smell. It's the best thing that happens to you. It is something that that is working. So I always look at the smell as the best part of the glutathione.
Someone just asked, how long does the smell last? And let me tell you, my husband can't stand the smell on me. So I know that if I spray it on myself and I give myself about 15 minutes, he won't know that it's on me. So I would say, it's not very long at all. And it's just pretty much right when you spray it. And it, like Nayan said, it's something you get used to. It's a sign of knowing that you're doing something good for your body, so you connect it with positivity, and it doesn't bother me at all. Let's talk about the fact that there's been studies on people that living longer lives as far as longevity with higher levels of glutathione in their body versus people that don't. And we talked a little bit about the telomere length and anti-aging. But can you describe some of the studies that have been done on populations where you see lower levels of glutathione in populations that die early and higher levels in populations that live longer lives?
So yeah, and those are all retrospective studies. That means they were measuring the levels of glutathione in centurion people. So anybody who lives over the age of 100, they measured the levels, and glutathione is just one of them. I'm sure they were measuring all kinds of things just to see what else is there that's out there, and they have statistically always seen very high levels of glutathione in centurions than people that die early. And again, I would love to believe that if your levels of glutathione is very high, you can live forever. But I'm sure there are other ways to die than just reducing the glutathione levels as well. So same thing with the telomere. So I'm not sure if there's a 2-and-2 correlation at this point, that just because you have high levels of glutathione, you also have high levels of telomere. So is it the telomere that is increasing the lifespan, or is it the high levels of glutathione that's increasing the lifespan? We are not 100% sure yet. But one thing what we are sure of is that if you're going to live up to 100 or plus 100, you better have your glutathione levels high enough, because that's what's going to be necessary for you to survive. So that's what the studies talks about it. Again, it's a retrospective study, and it's something that we don't follow on an ongoing basis. But we upon autopsy of those people that die past 100 is what we find out what the levels were for different molecules.
Well, here we are talking about all the amazing anti-aging properties, but let's talk about something that we're all facing now, and that's boosting your immune system, right? That's something that's on everybody's mind. And can you talk a little bit about how it targets microtoxins and how it relates to disease states as far as what it does for the body?
Oh, absolutely. This is absolutely where I'm spending my last 8 months of my life trying to identify what is that we can do to help people build up the immune system, because there's plenty of research out there that glutathione, being the master antioxidant, the master protein that our body produces, it also helps keep your functions in your body. It's the main source of energy or nitric oxide in your body. And we have just learned that when you when you're attacked by the virus, your lungs are getting collapsed and you can't breathe. And I mean, it's laborious work and you get fatigued and tired. So having that enough level of glutathione can at least boost up your energy so you don't get this fatigued and tired. But I've been working with Western University over here in California, and doctors over there have done, over the last 15 years, they have published a number of paperwork of using glutathione for like Mycobacterium TB. They have worked on HIV and influenza and shingles and things like that. They have worked on different modalities of what happens when the microbes, could be bacteria, could be viruses, when it's encapsulated and it's hard to reach for any medications. Your body will help identify those mycotoxins, which is bacteria or viruses, and helps get rid of it, or helps the body identify, hey, there is a virus stuck in your lung tissue, go get them, right? This is where it is. So my research is still ongoing at this point, but I can tell you for sure what's happening is that my whole family is taking glutathione just so that we have an immune system at the highest alert. So if we are still exposed to any of this bacteria or viruses, that your body is hyper alert and can literally identify and neutralize those attacks on a small scale. Of course, if you get exposed on a large scale, if you go to crowds and big events and you get exposed from 10 different people, your body's not able to fight everything off. But small attacks, you should be able to defend your body with the proper levels of glutathione. And that's what my research is doing right now. More to come, hopefully, in the upcoming months. But as of right now, it's still ongoing studies that we're doing.
Well, before we run out of time, I want to make sure that you mention any other benefits from glutathione that I haven't brought up.
Oh boy. There's chapters and chapters in my book to talk about various different things that we have seen. Now, again, there's literature out there that talks about glutathione on various things about how can we combat age-related diseases like diabetes and hypercholesterolemia and hypertension and arthritis, or better yet, autoimmune diseases, and all those things. There's so many literature that's out there that can help identify what we go through when our bodies reduces the ability to fight itself. And our body's ability to fight all these diseases is we produce glutathione. So one person cannot do all the studies in 1 year. So we're going to be working on all these different ailments one at a time. And we're working with a lot of physicians all over the United States. In fact, we have a few physicians out in the UK and India and Africa. So we've been working with different groups of people to bring this molecule and see what else can we do some studies to see, can we give humans, us, a fighting chance to heal our body within ourselves and stop relying on me as a pharmacist. So I have two roles. If you want me as a pharmacist, I can sell you medications. But if you want me to help you defend your body on its own, I want to give the glutathione to do that. So my slogan right now is empower your body to defend yourself. And I can only do that if I can get you some glutathione. And of course, I'm a big fan of your Silver. That thing, I think it's an amazing product that you have created. So I'm very thankful for that as well.
Thank you. And that's my philosophy, is that your body can heal itself. It wants to heal itself. You just need to give it its tools. And when I take a step back and look at most diseases, most metabolic diseases, I see the causes as either, gut issues, blood sugar issues, and inflammation. And we've touched on glutathione helping with inflammation, being an antioxidant, and helping with oxidative stress. But have you seen a direct correlation between the use of glutathione and blood sugar, or is it more of an indirect correlation?
I believe these are all indirect correlation. Because keep in mind, glutathione is not a medication for diabetes or cholesterol or any of those things. But what it does is that, keep in mind, another thing that you just talked about diabetes right now, because that my stings are going up. Your body produces insulin, which is the most toxic to your body, right? We worry about sun rays and pollutions, but your body produces insulin, which is the most toxic and causes the most amount of damage to your body. That's why your body produces insulin, finds the sugar, brings the sugar down, and it's out of your body. It's such a fast reaction.
Right.
But when you're diabetic, your body is constantly exposed to these toxins all the time. And so what glutathione does is it keeps on putting out the fires that is created by insulin. So by doing so, it is giving the body the chance to heal without affecting the insulin levels, because it cannot affect insulin levels at this point.
That makes sense. Well, before we close out, can you tell people where they can find you and where they can find the book? Oh my gosh.
So the book is called The Glutathione Revolution. I'm not sure if you can see that part or not. The Glutathione Revolution. It's a 14-day challenge to boost your own glutathione levels. They can buy anywhere at the favorite search engines. You can go to Amazon or all these places. Of course, they can buy it at our website at auraskincare.com. The book is for sale. They can get the products at most of my products are only sold through people that I'd like to work with, which is one of you. So you can get your or GSH at Exeter Health. But again, yes, you can get it anywhere you want. They have audio, Kindle, and as well as the hardcover. I'm old school, so I like hardcover. I don't like Kindles and audio, but that's just me.
Especially for a book like that where you want to pull your highlighter out and highlight everything. I'm so grateful for you and your product, and I use it every day. I absolutely love it. I can't believe that I was just using it on my body, and now I'm finding out what it can do for my face. So I'm really excited about that. And thank you everybody for joining us today. If I can help you with your health issues, you can contact me, Sarah Banta, Sarah at acceleratedhealthproducts.com. I'm happy to put together a protocol for you, whether it's anti-aging, detoxification, or just overcoming the chronic disease you're facing. I know sometimes it's hard to know where to start. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram under Accelerated Health Products, and my YouTube channel, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, Pandora, or whatever podcast platform you subscribe to now under Accelerated Health Radio. You can also find me on now doing Accelerated Health Bites, where I do short informational videos about health topics and solutions that you ask me about. So if you have a health condition or a topic you want me to address, let me know. And if you like what you heard today, please hit the subscribe button and share this with a few of your friends who may need my help. As you share my channel, it helps more people like you and bring me more cutting edge guests on my show. Don't miss next week's interview with Dr. Josh Jaquish, where we will be talking about building muscle and burning fat more efficiently and in less time, which we all want. You can find all of the supplements, including the glutathione spray that we talked about today, and many of my informational videos on my website, acceleratedhealthproducts.com. You can use coupon W4HC20 for 20% off site-wide. As you support Accelerated Health Products, I'm able to bring you this show and the amazing guests. Thanks again for joining us here on Accelerated Health Radio and TV, and have a great week.